Hello and welcome back to Jonathan Investigates Women's Football, a channel where we discuss things that may not necessarily make the mainstream media, may not make the national newspapers, but on topics and subjects that I find equally as important and equally as interesting. Today, I am discussing with Dave Healey what it was like to win the league and the cup this season at Redditch Borough. Me and Dave have a bit of a history because we spent a bit of time talking about Manchester United. I'm sure we'll discuss that a little bit as well. He was formerly of Solihull Moors. That's pretty much when I started following women's football. And more recently at Stourbridge Football Club for a few months as well. So I know Dave for a few years. And so to be able to actually have this time and this reason to do this interview is fantastic. And also, quite recently, A. Clements has been announced that he's joining Dave Healey at this club as well, Redditch Borough. So it'll be really interesting to see what his thoughts are this season, but also in seasons to come. And also, I want to listen to what Dave has to say about how players these days, the last couple of years, they're happy to leave a National League side and go into a regional league side, even though that may be below their actual ability. More and more we're seeing players happy to leave the club that they're at to go and play for a manager or a coach that they actually want to be around. Almost like that's what makes them happy. You know, it's almost who they want to play for as opposed to the people around them, as opposed to the actual club themselves. They've made a lot of great signings in the summer that really aided him winning the league and the cup. And also throughout the season, he managed to sign a Tier 3 player just before the cut-off. So he managed to sign Daisy Clements from Stourbridge Tier 3 side that went into a Tier 6 side, dual sign. So lots of things I want to get into. So yeah, sit back and enjoy the show. Thank you for joining me today, Dave Healey. I know this has been a long time coming, and it's something that I wanted to do for throughout the whole season, getting you on the show. But I don't think there's any better reason to do that now that you've won the League and Cup double. So, Dave, thank you for joining me today. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm all good, mate. Hope you're good. Thanks for having me. Like you said, it's been about time we had a catch up. So I know I've seen you a little bit around the women's game, and we've had a few chats about Man United. So as long as we're not talking about Man United today, it should be all right.
Absolutely. I mentioned that on the intro that I don't know if we first spoke regarding Man United or around women's football. I can't remember. But no, it's been good to finally catch up with you. I want to talk a little bit about your season. I want to talk about maybe next season as well. The announcement about A. Clements joining you at Redditch Borough. So we'll get into all that. But first things first, how's your past couple of weeks been?
Yeah, it's been brilliant, to be honest. It's obviously when we had Long Itchington at home, it was there's a lot of pressure. Long Itchington, to be fair, the last two games of the season we've played them, they've been quality, and I think you can see at the start of the season we thought they might be right up there. They went on a good run. It fell off for them midpoint of the season, but it looks like they got the team that they started with at the start of the season, because they did not make it easy. And Thursday night was a little bit tense in parts, but no, it's just been huge relief. Obviously, massive relief for the staff, the girls, but fully deserved. And with the cup win as well, it's been a big celebration for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, and so it should be. Congratulations to you. Just before we get into the season, just a bit of a background on yourself then, Dave, just for anyone who doesn't know you or know what you've been involved with. Just like the last few years, or where have you been? What kind of roles have you done?
Yeah, started the women's game really well. I was at Moors for about 6 years, but I was focusing on youth and junior. Did about 2.5 years at Moors. Really proud of the work. Worked with the women's chairman at the time, Alexandru. Top guy. We really pushed that section on. It was a shame how it kind of fell off a bit. And Alex had to leave. It got moved to the foundation, and things just come off the wheels a little bit. Obviously, with COVID as well, it was a really difficult point. But we kind of took Moors from the floor. We were really pushing for promotion to Tier 3 at the back end of it. So yeah, really proud of the work we did there. Had a little time at Wem, again, probably my hardest position I've ever been in, but again, some of the results outstanding. So really proud of that. Kidderminster Harriers finishing second in the league to a really good Sutton side, and I was at Kiddie for 2 years. I did the under 16 goals at the time, and we took a few of them through to the first team. So that was fantastic. Really enjoyed my time at Kiddie, and congratulations to all of them for what they've done. They doubled themselves this year, so I was really pleased to see them win that league. It's good to see Kiddie in Tier 4. It's where they should be. Little bit at Alfchurch as well, obviously rebuilding the side there, and then into Redditch. So a whirlwind, but lots of learning experiences.
Well, look, two cups. Obviously, one of those is a league title, and the other one's the League Cup. You must consider that to be a successful season.
Yeah, really successful. So we probably a year ago to the day, me, Andy, Julian, Jamie, Birchie, Amy, all the coaching staff, we sat down together, went through our aims and objectives for the season. And number one was obviously the league. Number two was the League Cup. Number three was the FA Cup, and number four was the County Cup. So we just wanted to have a good run in the FA Cup. We were a little bit unlucky with the draw in getting Worcester in I think it was the third round qualifier. So a bit unlucky with the draw there, but we really give a good show of ourselves in that game, and we could have come out with the win. But yeah, we got through a round, so we kind of achieved what we wanted to. We did want to get in the first round proper, but again, sometimes look at the draw of the FA Cup. Worcester, a really solid side. And then, yes, with the County Cup, we thought, again, Worcester City are in it, Kiddie Harriers are in it. If we're pushing for the league and we're pushing for a League Cup, will that really hurt our other ambitions if we've got to try and beat a Worcester and we've got to try and beat a Kidderminster? So, I mean, by no means did we throw it away. Worcester City devs deserve to beat us on the day, but we did look to rotate it a little bit, and maybe in hindsight, as coaching staff, we kind of let the girls subconsciously know that this wasn't the priority. So that's maybe something we need to look at next season. But the priorities were the League Cup and the league, and we've done that. So brilliant.
Yeah, massive congratulations on that. If you just cast your mind back, say 12 months ago, then you say that was your priority, the league. You know, what kind of things did you put in place, and what was your plan to actually get Redditch Borough promoted?
Yeah, so I came in for a discussion with Julian in the summer, who's Julian's manager, owner of the club. Great guy. And to be honest, I'll tell the truth, I turned up at Redditch Borough and I was thinking it's going to be a pitch and a shed of a clubhouse. I was blown away when I got here. The facilities are unbelievable. The bars, I think they've got 3 separate bars. They've got huge facilities, pool room, there's a bowls club, there's tennis courts. There's 2 11-a-side pitches. There's about 10 youth and junior pitches. Julian was telling me that they're going to get floodlights put on the main ground, which is done now. They're going to turn one of the tennis courts into a 9-a-side 3G pitch, which is in the process of being done now. And once I'd seen the facilities, like I said, I was not expecting it. And once I spoke to Julian and he'd given me his vision, he's a big advocate of the women's game. I think on a Saturday, it's just purely female teams that are playing in terms of the younger age groups. I asked him about a development team, and we decided, we'd turn them into a counties team rather than a development team. So yeah, we've got 2 kind of women's sides now, and then there's a whole pathway of youth and junior. And it was great to see on our game against Long Itchington at home, we had whole squad of under 13s, under 14s girls in the changing room, and there were mascots in the game, and that was everything that kind of Julian sold to me when I came to speak to him, and I'm so pleased that that was the decision. But to be honest, after half an hour of seeing the club and speaking to him, I was signed. There was no 2 ways about it.
Yeah, well, I think this season has definitely put Redditch Borough on the map regarding the West Midlands. And I suppose to help that happen, you made some fantastic signings in the summer. I'm finding that quite recently, and it might have gone on for a long time without me realising, but I realise that like a lot of players are fairly happy just to drop down the tiers to be around managers and coaches that they just enjoy playing for. Have you kind of noticed that, especially for yourself this season?
Yeah, I mean, tier six, super strong now. It's come on such a long way in the last few years. Same as five, as we'll find out next season. Yeah, I mean, there's some fantastic players, and if players choose to follow coaches or management, obviously that's a massive bonus. But I think it's kind of the whole, the holistic approach of the club, and when they come in and they kind of speak to the coaching staff and they have a look around the club and they get a feel for it, and they can see, especially the younger ones, that maybe have a bit more time left, and like a Grace Murphy, I'm sure we'll talk about her a bit more. Super player, but she's got so much football ahead of her to come in, play, lots of minutes, develop as a player, win a league, move up to another tier, go again. She's doing the best thing for her development, in my opinion, and she'll get back to tier 3 undoubtedly. But it's just great that she's got that trust in us to kind of move up the leagues with us, and when she's ready, she'll springboard back into tier 3, and it will be great to see when that happens.
I first watched Grace Murphy about 16 months ago. It was at Stourbridge, just towards the end of the previous season. And her and Phoebe Hill kind of just ran that game. It was against Light Town. And yeah, it was great to see. So yeah, good to see that she's landed on her feet, getting promoted as well. Yeah. Talk to us a little bit about the structure of last season. Then, so like obviously you mentioned a few coaches there as well. Who did you kind of report to? What were the training sessions? Is it just is it 2 training sessions a week, or is it just the one, or is that going to change now that you're in tier 5? Just talk to us a little bit about that, mate.
Yeah, so when I spoke to Julian when we come in, we wanted to run it like a tier 4 side as much as possible. So yeah, we train twice a week, and Julian's booked a local 3G pitch near to here. So we were training through the winter, and so we had all the facilities we needed in terms of when the weather turned. So yeah, again, it was trying to give the girls everything they needed to and should be getting for a tier 4 side, and we just wanted to make sure that in terms of coaching staff, we had everything that they needed. So obviously Julian kind of headed stuff up, and it's great because he takes charge. Being the owner of the club, it's you don't have to go and ask it for any handouts, or Julian will get it sorted. So yeah, to have him kind of in that management position was great. It took all the pressure off me in terms of I could just go out, coach the sessions. We had Birchie leading the fitness, who was great. I think one of the biggest assets we had was being the fittest team in the league. We said but before the season started, one of the cheat codes before the league kicks off is to be the fittest, and I think we achieved that. And Birchie played a massive part in that. Andy, who's one of the coaches, primarily for strikers, but he's just his personality just rubs off on everyone. He's amazing, just always happy, always friendly, always there to kind of talk to players, and he brings the mood up, whatever. And obviously Amy, who's the sports therapist, and Jamie did the goalkeepers, but he's also an outfield coach as well. So we had lots of strings to our bow.
Fantastic, yeah. I'm sure you got a lot of positive memories as you go look through the season. But were there any standout moments or standout games throughout the season that maybe made you think, hang on, we were actually favourites to win this league now, or maybe some games that you was looking forward to coming up, or that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, the league was close. You've got to give a lot of credit to Crusaders. I don't think there was any point throughout the league where we thought we had it sewn up until that second goal on Thursday night in the 85th minute. So, it was a long season, and we was always being hunted down by teams. And at points we had games in hand, and we had to do the catching up. So there was no point in terms of the season where we thought this is in the bag. Not at all. But there was a couple of games in the League Cup. We was playing Rugby Borough. Sorry, not Rugby Borough. Rugby Town. And we went 3-2 down with about 5 minutes left. And so we changed it, I think, to a 2-3-5, and we just went all out, and we managed to win it in injury time 4-3. And you're thinking, wow, the second round and we're out of the League Cup. This is a disaster. But the girls showed that fighting spirit and quality. And so that got us really believing. I believed in the back of my mind then that our name was written on the League Cup then, because that was some comeback. I think we scored in about the 91st and the 95th. So that was brilliant, great memories. And in terms of the league, Redditch United, I mean, a lot of plaudits go to Jade Guppy this season. I think there was one point towards the end of the season, not many games off, where they'd only lost to us, I think, 2 games to us. So she'd done a great job there, and before they'd lost 2 games to us, we went away to them, and they had a really good game plan for us. We got to about the 85th minute, and Bobby Birch come up with 2 real vital goals for us, and then you're thinking, okay, we can do this now. Again, those last minute goals, bit of momentum, but yeah, I mean, it's a shame we didn't go through the league undefeated. I think that was definitely a goal towards the end of the season, but just to get over the line, big relief, because at no point did we think that league was sewn up.
You mentioned, I mentioned at the start about you having such a good summer. You mentioned Grace Murphy, who came in, she didn't come in until just roughly the start of the season, wasn't it? I don't think it was the summer that she came in. Daisy Clements also came in towards the end of the season as well. That was really exciting to see her being dual signed. Obviously, a tier 3 player supporting you as well. Obviously, someone that you know from the past. What was the idea behind that? Because, and is this something that you've done before, where maybe you look at like the National League side and think, right, who can I kind of bring in just towards the end of the season? Because it was a great tactic, and I'm sure you would have probably gone on to win the league even without Daisy potentially. However, making that signing before the registration cut off was fantastic, wasn't it?
Yeah, I've been lucky enough that most of the clubs that I've been at, I've been able to bring in some players, whether it be on loan or signing them throughout the season. So with Daisy, I was always kind of talking to Aid, can we get her in? And yeah, there was a point where you could see that we'd have games and Stourbridge wouldn't, so it just made a lot of sense to bring her in, and she certainly made the difference. She scored a great header. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a big goal. We did need that goal, and then coming on against Long Itchington when it was 0-0, just to have a player of that ability, just to stretch the play, because we opened up a bit and we went 4-3-3, and we brought Daisy on and we brought Lib Windsor on as well. We did the same thing on the right hand side and stretched them out, and without that kind of quality, would we have broken through it? So you don't know. So she made a huge difference, and but she was always going to, just unbelievable player, unbelievable person, really nice person, coachable, always happy. Well, seems always happy, never complains, and just superb on the pitch. So it was a delight having her.
Yeah, she scored some fantastic goals in Tier 3 as well this season. So, yeah, pleasure to watch her. Absolutely. Playing awards. So there's quite a lot on your social media, and I can't remember them. I should have written them all down, so hopefully you can throw a few names at me. But great to see some graphics. Yeah. So just read a few out. Who won what? Oh, lovely.
That one. We'll start with that one. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can't read it, unfortunately.
No, managers player, that one. So that was Esther Luke. So she was with me at Moors for a little while, actually. Brilliant player, technically fantastic, great to watch. Again, never causes an issue, just gets on with her football, just wants to play. So yeah, delighted she got that award, and she deserved it. She scored some really important penalties for us as well. She's like Bruno, mate, when she's taking penalties, she don't miss.
Lovely. And other awards? Can you obviously you mentioned
the good one was Katie Box. She got Golden Gloves for the league. So again, a bit like Grace Murphy, one that kind of believed in the project. When Julian said, we might need a keeper going into the new season. From the little bit that I've done at Stourbridge, obviously I've known Katie, seen her quality when she was training with the first team. So I reached out to her and her parents and just said, look, we we'd be looking to dual sign her. Would she be interested? Again, showed around the club. It's one of those, once the players come and see the club and the facilities, I mean, it's a hidden gem here. It really is. And yeah, we got her in, and I think it's been great for her development. A young keeper. She's going to America, unfortunately, so we lose her in the summer. So we need to be bringing in a goalkeeper as kind of number one priority at the moment. But Boxy, fantastic, fully deserved of that award. Mole Maguire, coaching staff award. Again, super dependable. Got her love back for the game a bit, and she's just been Rolls Royce this season. Again, just brilliant in training, always at sessions. Leader on the pitch, whether she's got the armband or not. So that was great. Maisie McDonald got Player of the Season. Speaks for itself, don't it? Probably the award players want the most, isn't it? And I think she also got Senior Player of the Season. So she was flying back from Hungary towards the end of the season and scored a vital goal for us. What other awards? Supporters Player, L, so Mole centre back partner. Again, it's been great this season. Super athletic, clears a lot of stuff up at the back for us, especially if there's been a mistake or something. L will be there and she'll get rid and she's saved us a lot of goals this season. I mean, I'm sure I'm missing awards, but I'm bad thinking off the top of my head, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, I should have put you on the spot, but no, I should have written them down. But that was great to see, because I think it's also good to.
Because Millie will kill me. Millie, top goal scorer. Sorry, Mill. Yeah, she's been dynamic for us, absolute rapid up front. So she's got a lot of important goals, like I was saying about the rugby goal. She scored that winner.
I think, if you have a look at your squad list, and I'm saying this to the wrong person because you'll already know this, but at the start of that season, or even if you just look at it now, that the players that you had were far better, in my opinion, or far more capable than Tier 6. So what you managed to create there is fantastic, and it's just what you deserve getting into Tier 5. And hopefully, you can keep some of those players together, add to them, and see what next year brings. And I want to get onto that shortly in regard to your opposition, because there's some big teams in there that you're going to be playing against. But just before we touch on your rivals, I'm sure a few people will be tuning into this because of the A. Clement announcement. So obviously he's got bags of experience in Tier 4. He's got Tier 3 experience now as well, season in Tier 3. What do you think A is going to bring to Redditch Borough?
Aid will bring loads, enthusiasm, passion, obviously his football knowledge as well. Fitness, I've seen him beast teams before. I've been at Leafield when he's been running fitness sessions, so I know all about that. Obviously, contacts within the game as well. So when I knew that he was leaving Stourbridge, I spoke to Julian and I said to him, wasn't saying for Julian to step aside. Again, Julian, phenomenal job, and it kind of shows what a man he is, that he's kind of realises himself that maybe Aid's the man to take him forwards at a kind of Tier 5 level. When you look at Julian's record, a lot of managers will probably be like, no, I'm staying, but he's decided it's best for the team to step away, and now he's going to go do the counties team and bring in Aid, who might have probably does have those contacts from Tier 3, Tier 4 that we might be able to convince to come and join the club. So for me personally, I get on really well with Aid, always have done, even when we were beating him at Moors when he was at Leafield. I've always got on really well with him, and I've done a bit with him at Leafield, and I think he should be proud of what he's achieved. He's been to clubs where he's been backs against the wall, and I think he's got a chance now to kind of show what he can do with maybe a club that can compete a bit more at Tier 5, but obviously that remains to be seen. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm certainly looking forward to seeing how that squad progresses over the next, probably over the next 6 months. Is it more than the next 12 months? So, definitely looking forward to following it. And Sunday afternoon, Sunday evenings, Redditch Borough will be one of the teams that I look out for as well on the evenings when we start collating a few results. So, looking forward to following that one. But it's not going to be easy, is it? I'm going to name a few teams that you'll be up against. Light Town, so That's, Lloyd Turner have been second 2 years on the trot. I think they missed out to Worcester the year before. Kidderminster just by 1 game. So that's 2 years on the trot where they missed out just by 1 game. Portdale, a big badge, some fantastic players there. Hensford already got back-to-back promotions. Behind the scenes, that's a very good setup. Shifnal, I'm sure they won some fantastic cup games where they won Kiddie Harriers in the League Cup. I'm sure they won Northampton, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure they won Northampton in like some sort of FA Cup. Shrewsbury, obviously, it was Shrewsbury who won Northampton. Shifnal obviously winning every game last year up until last few months. Just your thoughts on Tier 5, because it is really, really, really competitive.
Yeah, it's super competitive, and I know it very well from my time with Kidderminster. We barely put a foot wrong, and we didn't win the league. We come second. So I think Sutton that year, they lost 1 game in the league. I'm sure they did 1 game in the league. And, we were so close to them, but it just shows the fine margins. If they're losing 1 game, we can't lose 2. So it's a really competitive, really tough league. I mean, Lye finished 3rd to us and Sutton when I was in the Tier 5, and it was honestly one of the hardest away games I've ever had, and it probably is now the hardest away game outside the National League in the Midlands. And Lye could easily next season, it could be one of those where they go and lose 1 game. So when you look at it, I'd put them down as front runners, massive favourites. They've battled it out with a superb kiddie team all season this year. They've got experienced players that know the league. So I mean, they're the ones that everyone will be looking at, thinking it's their time now, I'm sure. But like you said with the other teams, Port Vale, you never know what a badge can attract. I don't personally know what kind of the facilities or the management team, but they've had a good season, haven't they? So I imagine they're doing everything properly, and we need to kind of brush up on them as soon as possible and find out a bit more. I know they've got the Stourbridge midfielder, the captain. I can't.
It was Leslie Harrison and Kelsey Richardson who were both there.
Yeah, so I mean, I know those 2, and they're fantastic. So that just shows straight away the kind of levels that you're dealing with. Shrewsbury, know them well from when I was in their league, and again, I think they'll probably be quite disappointed with where they finished in the season. So they'll be looking at really kicking on and having a title push this season. But I know with my time with Wem, it's not the easiest area to recruit, but I'm not going to take them for granted at all. Again, massive club, massive badge. They're going to attract. And Shifnal is so hard to beat. They've always been hard to beat. The same manager, pretty much the same squad. So I know them very well, and I know that if you take them for granted, they will turn up and beat you 100%. So, I mean, that's like 5 teams we've just talked about. So maybe we're going to be lucky to come 6th.
I think it's been great to watch this year. Obviously, following Kiddie Harriers, those teams I just mentioned. They have. I mean, you hit the nail on the head with what you said there about Lye away game. The Lye fans are fantastic. They're vocal. They're very tribal. It reminds me of a men's kind of game because they are loud and passionate, and it's great to see. I wouldn't want to lose against them. Unfortunately, Kiddie did lose at their ground, and it wasn't pleasant for a Kiddie fan. And Shifnal, very strong, very physical. If they had a little bit more, then who knows, they can push. So you're in a great league there, and it's going to be great to see. But let's not forget how good some of your players are, and let's see who you could attract as well. Have you got any ambition? Sorry, Dave, go on.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, I think he'll probably lead on to the question you were about to ask.
Yeah, go on, mate. It's more along the lines of ambition for next year. Obviously, I'm sure it's not just everything. Everything doesn't need to be a 1-year plan, does it? It can be a 2-3-year plan. And from what I've seen of Aid, he can develop a lot of youngsters, try and keep a team or a group of players together that can really build together and push on together. What are your thoughts, mate, going into the next year or 2?
Yeah. Again, we're not going to start a project without aiming to win the league. Mountains are there to be climbed, and we're going to try and climb it, and it's going to be really tough. But we're going in to sign players. We're going to try and step up in terms of what we can offer the girls, in terms of winning the league. And if you don't go in my opinion, trying to win a league, I think you're kind of wasting your time a bit. And I wouldn't want to be giving up 9 months of my life to go and tread water somewhere. And if we've got to change objectives after a month, 2 months, 3 months, then we'll do that, and we'll dress it accordingly. And it might be, can we finish mid-table, or do we avoid relegation? I mean, you see in Church, they've got such a good squad, and they've found it difficult. So to think that you could go into that league and take it easy and you'll win games, you're going to get found out big time. So we're going to aim from winning the league. Like I said, we're not favourites at all, but we're going to try and recruit players, retain players in the ambition of winning it, and then we see where we go when we get to the winter. I mean, the football changes, the pitches change, the weather changes. So 1 minute you're top of the league, come to November, and then you're 6th in February. So yeah, I mean, it's ever evolving, as the squad will need to be. Sometimes you've got to be a bit dynamic, and you've got to be pragmatic. And like, we started the season playing 3-4-1. Remember the goalkeeper, 1-3-5-2, and we finished it playing 1-4-3-3, just because you're bringing in players like Grace Murphy, you're bringing in Daisy Clements, so you're not going to be playing a 1-3-5-2. You're going to be starting to be a bit more kind of top heavy with your forwards. So yeah, you got to be pragmatic, and we're going to go for it, and we'll see what happens.
I'm looking forward to it, because obviously with it, it's going to be like the only regional team now that I'll be keeping an eye on when it comes to locally. Obviously, I'll keep an eye on everyone's results, but I've got a bit of obviously loyalty and history now with a good few Redditch Borough people. Catherine Pagan, we haven't mentioned, but she's obviously someone I followed on social media for a while, and she was dual signed with Stourbridge. We mentioned Grace Murphy. Obviously, Katie Box won't be there, but it will be nice to see how some of these people get on, as well as, of course, A. Clements, our former manager at Stourbridge. So, yeah, fantastic to see, and all the very best for next season. The game shouldn't clash, so there will be some regional weekends where there won't be some National League weekends, and same as midweek matches. So hopefully, I'll be able to get down to a few games. But Dave, once again, thank you very much for joining me. I know how busy you are and how busy you will be. So yeah, best of luck, mate, and keep in touch.
Cheers, John. I appreciate it, and it's going to be it'll be a delight having you here. I look forward to showing you around the club.
Excellent, mate. Yeah, lovely. Look, thanks again, and I'll see you again soon.
Nice one, mate. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave, for joining me today. I was really enthusiastic to hear what he said, because I didn't know much about Redditch Borough until the start of this season. When someone that you know goes to a club, all of a sudden you start following that club to some extent. You know, you might just be watching results. You might just keep it on the league table every month or so, just to see how they're getting on. But that's what Dave's move to Redditch Borough allowed me to do this season. Yes, I wasn't following every game, but what I do is I do check on the league tables. I check on the upcoming fixtures. I check on a few results. I check what players he signs. And it was an enjoyable time for him, of course, winning the double, but also West Midlands fans, because he and his players have put Redditch Borough on the map in regards to West Midlands football now. And albeit they're at the start of a new journey, it's still a journey that Dave is a part of. So really looking forward to see where him and A. Clements now takes this team and this group of players. I think it's important that he keeps some of the best ones, and they will recruit. They will be able to attract some players from Tier 4 and some of the better Tier 5 players into this team. And I think that was really vital that they got that promotion in the end, because, you know, not everyone would want to go to maybe a Tier 6 side, but a Tier 5 side, you know, potentially challenging for cups and promotion into the National League, even if it's a 2 or 3 year plan. You know, players who are young, who trust Dave, who trust Said, who trust some of the players who are already there. You know, can they build something there now to win Tier 5 and go one step further? Absolutely. So definitely a side that I'll be looking forward to. And if it doesn't clash with any National League sides next year, whether it be a Sunday or a midweek game, it's one that I'm going to definitely keep an eye on. So all the best to Dave Healey and his coaches and players there. And yeah, I'll look forward to seeing how this project develops.